Hi, I'm here with Kim Boey today, who is a fitness educator, and she's also the lady that got me into the fitness industry 10 years ago. So Kim, many people know you as a fitness educator, but there's another side of the story that people don't know about, which is why we're here today, to talk about postpartum depression. So before we even talk about your side of the story, can you let us know more about what is postpartum depression?
Okay, so I was just told the other day that it's not called postpartum depression anymore, it's called peripartum depression. And what it means is that it's depression that's caused, that a woman has when she's pregnant, or she might have after she's had a baby.
Okay,
Yeah.
And so what are some of the symptoms?
Okay, well, I guess I should state clearly that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And the symptoms do vary, but for me, the symptoms were after having my baby. So I was 38 when I had my first baby, and I remember 1 week in, just lying on the sofa and crying. And I was staying with my mom at the time, and she didn't know why. And just things were just so black, like I was trying to breastfeed, because breastfeeding is the best thing to give your baby. I had no idea how to breastfeed. I bought a pump, and I was like nursing and trying to squeeze milk, turning the pump right up, which is the wrong thing to do. And it just seemed like the whole cycle was just feed baby, stay in the house, cannot go out, like I lost my life, lost control. So I guess symptoms were feeling sad, feeling no way out, feeling like I wanted to like give the baby back, but you can't, of course. And then eventually it was insomnia, couldn't sleep at night. And I remember my first baby used to cry and cry and cry, especially at night. So when night fell, I would feel like the hairs on my skin just like starting to rise up.
Okay, and just for the audience to know, this is something that Kim has never spoken openly about. So you're here today because you feel that this is an important topic to reach out to the other women out there who might be going through it, but they're not aware of it, correct?
Yeah, it's actually two reasons. The first one actually is for myself, because I think I don't talk about this, so people don't know this about me. And I kind of feel like I'm living a lie, because this is a part of who I am. And like I said, only a few people, my family and my friends know about it, and I don't speak about it openly, I guess because I'm ashamed. It's postpartum depression. It's like I'm a bad mother.
But why were you ashamed, or are you still ashamed right now, do you think?
I think there's a lot of stigma with depression, and more so with postpartum depression. It happens after you have a baby. And if you see social media and you see after a mother gives birth, she's like all happy and the baby's smiling and goo goo gaga, and the mother's also so happy. But that wasn't the way it was for me.
Yeah.
So
and because you're also portrayed as a very strong figure, being a fitness educator, you're always out there in front of a lot of your students, and in a way you're a leader to them. So I guess for you to tell people this side of your story,
it's not easy.
It's not easy, yeah. And do you think it happened to you because you're an older mom? And also, do you feel that there was a lack of support?
Yeah, I would say, I have to be honest, I think it's my personality. I'm a perfectionist. I have high expectations of myself. I beat myself up, so when I couldn't breastfeed, rather than stopping and turning to formula, I kind of forced it. And then I would feel really guilty, and then all those personality traits. And it was, support system as well. And it was also, again, my inability to ask for help. Everything just like spiraled and got bigger. A lot of issues lah.
How long did you go through that before take me through the process. How long did you go through that before you decided that, you know what, I'm going through something that's not right, I need help, and I want help?
It wasn't like that at all. It was just horrible because, like I said before, the feeling of no control, and then the insomnia, and the fear of the baby, and everything was so black. I felt like I lost myself. And I remember one night I was sleeping next to my husband, and I wasn't sleeping because I couldn't sleep. And it was the middle of the night, and I thought, I'm going to go to the kitchen, I'm going to take a knife, and I'm going to kill myself. And I didn't even think there was anything wrong because I couldn't even think at that point. And then the next day, my husband took me to our gynecologist, and she gave me more tips on how to breastfeed, but I think it was already like too late for any of that.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just got worse and worse, and there was a visit to a psychiatrist where he put me on a questionnaire, and I was like very, very, very severe. And he sent me back with medication. But when I got back, I think I gave the baby to my mom, and I went out of my apartment and I wanted to jump.
Well, who stopped you?
My husband.
He stopped you?
Yep.
Did he, I'm just trying to be in his shoes right now. Did he understand what was going on?
No, I don't think anybody really knew how bad it was.
Yeah.
And because it was our first baby, nobody knew.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that, everybody was like just caught by surprise. And a few days after that, I remember it was a Sunday morning, my husband was at work. I don't know where the baby was, I think with my parents. And I remember climbing to the top floor of my condo, and I stood at the edge and I wanted to jump already. And I was like just summoning the courage. I called my husband, and he was in class, and I told him, I'm going to jump. And he said, wait, I'll come and jump with you.
Did he really say that? Sorry, you just... It's okay, seriously, it's okay.
And then I was admitted to the psychiatric ward. I've been there 3 times.
Why do you think he said that he would come and jump with you?
Because he didn't want me to jump.
Okay, and that saved you.
And he came back, and then they admitted me to UH. My mom sat in the ambulance with me, and she didn't know what was going on.
Do you know what? I think I'm so grateful for you being here today, because in a way, you sharing all this, you're opening yourself up and you're not hiding away anymore. And I think your story can be such a huge inspiration to all the moms out there. Because you're here today right now, and the story you're telling us, that was 6 years ago, am I right? Or 7 years ago?
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, 7 years ago. And yeah, you're here.
I know, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just the most horrible thing.
Yeah.
And you always ask, what did I do to deserve this? And why me?
It's always the self-blame, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the fear that people would find out.
What fear? I mean, at that point, did you still continue teaching?
No. I mean, the road to recovery was very long. Mm-hmm. The first time I was in the psychiatric ward for about 10 days. Mm-hmm. And then when I came out, I had to deal with the fact that I had failed at breastfeeding. I had failed at bringing up my baby. My baby was staying with my mom. Mm-hmm. It was a long process. I had to fight to get my baby back to stay with me. My family didn't trust me because I tried to kill myself.
Yeah.
But I did, a few months after that, I was looking after my baby. I slowly got back to work. The second time, with my second baby, I wanted a second baby because I wanted a companion for my son. I wanted a second child. So I had the second baby, I didn't even ask my husband. I went ahead and got pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah, and I took a breastfeeding course, and everything was fine for 3 months. I breastfed successfully. And then we went to Phuket, and because I think deep down I was still I had a lot of fear, I brought my pump, and I couldn't pump my milk out. I was engorged.
It's the same trauma that has repeated in a way.
Yeah.
That same fear, that same inability to control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, correct. It all spiraled, and then same thing in Phuket. I couldn't sleep, insomnia, and I lay awake thinking, I want to end my life. Because I think after the first time, it's happened already, so I'm at risk. If you have postpartum depression the first time around, you're at higher risk to have it the second time around.
Yeah. But did you feel that you were more in control the second time because you recognized the symptoms and things like that?
I was in control the first 3 months when I successfully breastfed, but I think all the other symptoms, like my relationship, my family issues, support issues, were still there. So it was actually worse the second time around. It was worse. I spent lesser time in the hospital, but it was terrible. I spent a longer time feeling depressed every day, and that's just terrible.
Yeah.
Yep, it's terrible. It's like a black hole you fall in and you can't get out.
And at that time, did you look after 2 of your kids?
No, I was incapable.
Incapable, okay.
My parents have stepped in to help me every time this has happened. And my 2 boys will also grow up, and I can't hide this from them. It's part of who I am. So that's why I'm doing this too, so I can be more open about it rather than brushing it aside. But it's really hard because depression and postpartum depression, people just don't talk about it.
Yeah, especially in Asian countries, I would say very much. I mean, people see it, unfortunately, it's still a big taboo. And people just think that it's psychological issues, but it's not the case. So,
and people don't seek help,
People don't seek help. Sometimes they're not even aware of it. You're a fitness educator and you're always surrounded by people, and you're someone that stays active all the time as well. Do you think that did fitness help you at all, basically?
No, nothing helped. No. So during the darkest days of depression, nothing helps. It's very dark, it's very bleak. I don't know how to describe it because I don't know how to make someone feel to go through it. But one of the symptoms of depression is losing interest. And I lost interest in fitness, although I love it. I lost interest in my babies, in my relationships, in food, you lose interest in everything.
Basically, you lost interest in everything that you used to once love. Yeah.
Correct.
And so that's one of the major symptoms to look out for. What was sort of like the breakthrough? Because I understand that from what you're telling me, you had it in your first kid, and then you relapse again, second time. And just off camera just now, you told me that you went through the 3rd round of depression. So maybe you can take us through that. What was like a mini breakthrough each time, and how do you cope with that?
There is no breakthrough. There's no one day when you wake up and everything is fine again. It's not like that at all. The first, and I will say this, every time it happened, it was harder, it was worse. So the second time was harder and longer than the first time, and the third time was just...
Are you still dealing with it right now, you would say?
No, I'm fully recovered.
Fully recovered, okay.
It just takes time. It takes time, and medication helps. So I was on antidepressants, and then you have to go and see a psychiatrist and or a psychologist. And personally for me, the first, second, even third time, I would say that's part of the process. But what really helped me was more, I think mainly it was more myself. It just took time for myself to get better. And of course, having friends that support me. But even then, you can't, it's really hard for friends and for family.
To even understand.
Yeah, it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
They don't know why you're so down. They say things like, your baby is so cute. Or you should be so grateful you got your parents.
Yeah.
You're so lucky, Look, you're such a beautiful family. And then when they say things like that, I feel even worse because it's like, why don't I feel like that?
Yeah.
What's wrong with me?
Yeah, I mean, I don't say this a lot, but I do have a really close family member who goes through depression as well. And I know how hard it can be because it's always that perfectionism. When you're not able to do things well, you beat yourself up over it and you question yourself, why can't I do this? Why can't I be better? It's always the why can't I moment. And when other people tell you that you should be this, you should be that, it makes you feel worse. So one of the really important things that I think we all should start learning to stop doing is we shouldn't tell people what they should be or how they should be, Because everybody has a different life path, everybody leads a different life, and everybody has a different story. So we shouldn't be so quick to judge others because we're not in their shoes.
And that's much, much easier said than done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. You shouldn't judge other moms, you know. You shouldn't, moms who choose not to breastfeed, moms who choose to have a C-section, moms who choose different ways of parenting. They want to homeschool their kids. Judgment is lifelong once you start becoming a mother. And actually, it happens. It's easy to say don't judge, but really, yeah, all people judge. Mothering and parenting, it's really tough. It's really tough these days. The stress level is so high. We want the best for our kids. And people just should be more kind to each other.
Yeah. And so if a mother is watching this right now and she feels that she's going through postpartum depression or just depression in general, what would your first advice be?
Advice?
Yeah. Like, is it to seek a psychiatrist straight away?
No, I mean, like I said, that is the suggested path. So for me, I think the medication did help. So yeah, I think my advice would be like, open up.
Yep.
Open up and tell the people who are closest to you.
Okay.
And don't feel bad about asking for help.
Yep. Never ever feel bad for asking for help because you'll only get better through that.
Yeah, it's not easy to talk about it.
But the support system is important, correct? Whether it's from your family or your friends, we all need that kind of support system because you cannot go through this on your own. You cannot heal on your own, in fact.
The support system is very, very important. And also, I really wish that no other mom would have to go through this because it's just really, really, really horrible. But, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It sounds corny, but it's actually true. I'm still sitting here after going through a very, very horrible experience. And yeah, there's no use lying about or covering that these things don't happen because it does happen.
Yeah. So what do you think could have happened to you if it has been left untreated?
Untreated, well, the worst case scenario is if I had the guts to actually carry out my suicide attempts law. That means I would not be here today and would not get to be with my kids and my family and my friends and to enjoy life for what it is. For others, I mean, I don't know whether you've heard of the cases in America where a woman has killed her own children. And it's so easy when you've not had depression, it's so easy to read that and to judge once again. It's like, she's bonkers, you kill her own children. But I've gone through depression and I know how hopeless, when the situation is really, really hopeless, like there's no way out. She probably acted because of that. I'm not saying that it's right.
But that was, she can't think rationally, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Do you think you could have done something to change the situation at that time?
You know what? I had a close friend who used to tell me, she used to run a mum and baby fitness center. And she said, come for talks on postnatal depression, you know, because it happens. And I would listen to her and think, not me. How can I get depression? I mean, that's for weak people.
And that was before you gave birth?
Yeah, that was before I gave birth. So, and I don't think anything could have been done to prevent it. And I don't choose to think that way. What I choose to think of now is like, it's a blessing because every day now, when I see my kids, I think I have more patience with them. I appreciate them more. Even when I do things like drive them to school, I appreciate it because I'm there with them. I think I'm a better mother because I've gone through it.
Yeah. Every little small things about them makes you appreciate them rather than getting annoyed.
That's right.
But those little things are joyful moments.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've been given a second, a third chance to be a mom lah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do.
That's amazing. I mean, I've known you for, I guess, 10 years now since I started. And I don't know this side of your story at all. So I just want to thank you to really come here today to just open up. And because I know your courage will be helping so many other women out there. And thank you. I mean, I'm excited to what will be coming next in your career, in your family life. And I think things will only get better.
Thanks, Joanna.
Thank you so much, Kim. Give me a hug. Thank you so much.
Okay.